This is question number 2 of homework 5 for chapter 5, problem 5-3. This firm issued 10-year bonds 2 years ago. Notice here is what we care about is the remaining maturity, since the bond was issued 2 years ago, and when it was issued, it has a 10-year maturity, so the remaining maturity is only 8 years, and that's what matters in terms of the valuation, and in this case, calculation of the yield to maturity. At a coupon rate of 8.7%, the bonds make semi-annual payments, so this is a semi-annual case. If these bonds currently sell for 108% of par value, what is the YTM? So it's asking for the YTM, and in general, we can assume the par value is $1,000 if the problem doesn't specifically mention the number. And actually, in the calculation of the YTM, the specific value of the par value doesn't matter, as long as the percentage of the price and par value remains the same, which is 108%. And we should pay a particular attention to this rounding requirement. Do not round intermediate calculations. Enter your answer as a percent rounded to 2 decimal places. I want to use Excel because it automatically meets this rounding requirement. Do not round intermediate calculations, and it's very convenient to change the number of decimal places in Excel to meet this rounding requirement. If we want to use Excel, we can use the so-called rate function. So the rate function, if you type equals rate, open parentheses, you can notice a number of arguments. The first one is the number of payments. For this, because this bond has, as we said, has an 8-year remaining maturity, and it's a semi-annual payment schedule. So we should multiply 8 by 2, and that's the number of payments. So it's 2 times 8. And the second argument here is the payment. So that stands for the coupon payment. In this case, it's 8.7% times 1,000. Because this is semi-annual payment schedule, so we should divide that by 2. And then PV, that's the present value of the bond. Here it's the price. Since the par value is $1,000 and price is 108% of the par value, so price should be 108% times 1,000, and that's the price. And one thing, actually here I deliberately put this in a wrong form, in the sense that we should care about the sign, because we have used the positive sign for the payment. And if we don't want to generate an error message, I want to show you first, if I keep this, the PV to be also a positive number like what I did here, and then you will encounter an error message. So let me finish this, and then I will show you the correct way to input this. And the fourth argument is the future value. So that stands for the par value here. So, and then that's it for this rate function. The other arguments following the future value here doesn't matter. And we should also notice that the YTM based on this calculation here is the semi-annual YTM, because everything is in semi-annual terms, right? We calculated the semi-annual coupon payment, and the number of semi-annuals remaining, the number of remaining semi-annuals, 8 times 2. So the rate, which is the YTM, as calculated here is also the semi-annual, but generally we care about the annual. So we should multiply this by 2 to get the annual YTM. But again, if I just enter, type enter on my keyboard, you'll see an error message. Yes, it's an error message. And the reason is because, as I explained, I kept, this is the payment, right? 8.7% times 1,000 divided by 2. And this is the payment. And the 1,000 here is the par value. So both the payment and the par value occur in the future. And they should be of the same sign. Here, I keep them to be positive. But the price here occurs currently. So that's the immediately have to pay the price to acquire this bond. So the price, the present value, has to be of opposite sign of the future values, which is the payment and the par value. So I need to put a minus or negative sign in front of the 108% times 1,000. Or if you choose, you can also put negative sign in front of the payment, coupon payment, and the par value. You get the same number. So let me show you. So that's the, you can see it's a 0.07359, and we should keep that in terms of the percentage. So let me format cells and use the percentage and keep 2 decimal places to be consistent with the rounding requirement. So it's a 7.36%. Now I want to show you that the result will be the same if I just use the positive payment and the positive future value, which is the par value, but negative price. And then you can see the result will be the same, 7.36%. But again, you have to put opposite signs on the payment and par value and the price. Otherwise, the Excel will give you an error message. So now let me copy this number. Actually, let me type this number because it has a percentage sign already. So it's 7.36%. And check my work. Okay, good.